My name is Jonathan D. Casanova. Back in 2012, I was diagnosed with two specific diseases: aplastic anemia, which is a blood disorder in which your bone marrow does not produce enough red blood cells and platelets. I was also ultimately diagnosed with a lymphoma cancer. At the time of my diagnosis, I was in undergrad. I was a soccer player, what I thought the picture perfect health, but um, soon had a realization that I was quite ill. I ultimately, over a 2-year period, would spend uh, just about every day in one of three hospitals between Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York. And throughout those treatments, one of the major things needed was blood, specifically because my counts were low. I did consistently need red blood cells and platelets in order to have a count that was sufficient to continue fighting, and it was imperative ultimately in my recovery. When I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, my life changed completely. I was a college student at the time, and then the next day after that diagnosis, I became not a college student essentially, and 100% of my time and energy needed to go towards fighting the battle and recovering. Blood products were a large part of that. Because of such the demand that I needed blood, I did spend all of my time actually inpatient as an inpatient at the hospitals. And so my body was in a state of so much necessity that was going to be the safest place for me. I would say probably the most important reason why folks should donate is because they have such a direct impact on someone's life. Donating blood is such a compassionate thing to do, but it's also such a tangible thing to do in order to save the lives with one donation up to 3 lives. And so we don't have to look necessarily to movies here for superheroes. They can exist, here in society, and I would call them blood donors. So it's incredibly important for there to always be blood on the shelves for patients. I've always felt strongly that patients are deserving of receiving blood 100% of the time in which they need it. And in order for that to be a reality, we do need blood donors, and we need donors to also come out and donate regularly. So for those considering donating blood, but maybe a bit nervous or on the fence of doing so, I think it's important to visualize the folks that you're helping, those patients that are ultimately receiving these life-saving blood products that you're willing to give. And that, in my experience, I think is helpful for donors to see at the end of the day, that direct impact that your time in the chair of just 10 to 15 minutes actually doing that donation, it has just such an incredible impact on someone's life. So thank you to all of you blood donors out there. I am just one of many individuals that has received these life-saving blood products. And that is not possible without you taking the time to be selfless, compassionate, and understanding that at the end of the day, you can be a hero yourself in donating blood.